Hey everybody, it's the OMAD Dad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that's dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. For this video, we have another installment of viewer questions, and for this installment, it's actually a viewer comment that was left on my last video. I knew it would be a little bit of a controversial video to make for a weight loss channel to talk about junk food. But this question is actually in the form of a comment, and I want to thank the poster for putting it and giving me permission to do a video like this where I have a little bit of a rebuttal. So this comment comes from someone named Wahab. I believe I'm saying that correctly. If not, I apologize. A very nice video, but the gentleman from the Fasting Fat Man has a different perspective. You see, all obese people suffer from food addiction. He gave the analogy of cheat days as if you would allow yourself or your spouse to cheat on you once a week or whenever you're planning your splurge day or cheat day. Would you allow that? Another analogy he gave was of a drug addict, say a heroin addict or an alcoholic. Would you let such a person have his dose once a week or after every certain number of days? The same applies to food. My point is, junk food is a major part of what brought most people to their obese selves. You hear them saying the term lifestyle changes. One must try one's best to avoid the wrong foods. Forgive me for saying this, but it is not okay. Thank you very much for your time and effort. Please keep posting. Well, thank you, Wahab, for posting your comment. Again, this is not a personal attack. This is not some sort of smear video. I don't do that. I hate when I see those on YouTube. But you've made some points here that I kind of want to give in my perspective, and I'm hoping maybe it helps the larger group. So first of all, I've never seen the Fasting Fat Man, so I can't comment on his channel or his videos, and nor am I going to smear him either. But I will say that I wholeheartedly disagree with his position that all obese people suffer from food addiction. Before I came into finding OMAD and trying to lose weight, I was obese. I didn't have a food addiction. I just made some piss poor life choices and ate too much and wasn't in control. Not all people who are obese have food addictions. Many of them have the same problems and issues that I had. Yes, there are such things as food addictions, there are such things as eating disorders, but those are diagnosed by medical professionals and people have to seek help for those. And I definitely recommend, if you feel like you have one, that you go and talk to a medical professional about it instead of, allowing someone that's not a medical professional to diagnose it. The reason I disagree with it is also disagree with his position too is I don't like playing the victim game, and that's what saying that because you're obese you have a food addiction, that's what it automatically does. See, if you're kind of to blame, let's say, for your obesity, or at least your unconscious behavioral patterns, at least you kind of have a starting point and you would be able to go into your own head and see what you're doing so that you can go through and fix it. When you're a victim and you're blaming the food, or you're blaming the concept of an addiction, you being nothing but a victim takes away all of your personal power, and so you can't do anything. You can't change anything at all. You're just going by in life through the whims of the world and however it shapes your life. And I've found that it's just that's not a great way to live, and it's not true. What I have found is that you can change things. You just need to know how to do it. I think the drugs and alcohol example is a very bad one as well. You can go down and try and get your fix of junk food, and even if you overdo it a little bit, you might put some weight on, you might get a little bit sick. It would take a long time for you to develop diabetes or maybe it's some other cancers, which I'm not saying is good in and of itself, but when you compare it to something like alcoholism or a heroin addiction, um, that's something that could literally just kill you like that. So yes, I mean, junk food is a contributing factor in weight gain. I'm not going to say that it isn't. Uh, but ultimately, what my issue was, and I think a lot of people's issues are, ultimately is just the lack of self-control. And that's what you have to learn. And that's why I'm doing OMAD on this channel. Is the whole point is that you can have your treats in life and do so in a thoughtful and controlled manner. The people, for the most part, that come to my channel and channels like mine and seeking the advice of OMAD do so so that they can find a very reliable and a very effective method for losing weight and for feeling better and for looking better without having to completely uproot their life. It's very commendable to go in and say, well, I'm never going to have a piece of cake again, or a piece of candy, or whatever that may be. It's very commendable to do that. Most of the people, though, however, that actually make a commitment like that end up crashing and burning at some point. There are some exceptions to the rules, of course, always. But for the most part, you know, the people that make those commitments end up crashing and burning. And one of the selling points, at least to me, for OMAD was that I don't have to give up any of these food groups. I don't have to give this up. But what OMAD taught me was a way to enjoy these occasionally, and to enjoy these in a way that is not self-destructive, where I remain in control. You know, you talked about trying to avoid the wrong foods, but the point is well, first you'd have to define what the wrong foods would be, because it could be narrow depending on who you talk to, and it could be quite vast. It all depends on who you talk to and what level of expertise they have. But even if I ate a diet where I eliminated all of these foods that we would consider to be bad, if I sat down and ate 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day of what we would consider even healthy food, I'm still going to be overweight and probably obese. So, I mean, you have it right there. The whole point of me making the video about junk food was not to encourage people to go out and eat it. Obviously, when you're going on a weight loss journey, the goal is to move towards, you know, smarter, healthier choices. That's what I do. That's what many people who watch this channel do. You just naturally will gravitate towards that. But there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of candy once in a while. There's nothing wrong with having a slice of mom's homemade pie on the holidays. There's nothing that doing so in a controlled manner and while you are mindful of your calories and your portion sizes, finding a way to work that into your plan, that's being responsible. It's not being irresponsible. Again, it's very commendable if somebody can actually sit down and say, I'm going to eliminate all junk food. And I can tell you, every year in January, when it's New Year's resolution time, there are probably tens of thousands, if not millions of people, even in just this country alone, that make commitments like that. And within about a month or so, they can't keep those commitments up. They've written checks that their bodies can't cash. I'm not saying this in a defeatist way. I'm not saying this in a harsh way, but to sum it all up, it's okay to have junk food once in a while. So my point as I'm closing this video up is that you have all of the personal power so long as you're not playing the victim card. As long as you're not doing the poor me and blaming your obesity on other people or other circumstances, as long as you take that personal power back, then you can figure out what you're doing, figure out a way out of that, and maybe bridge the gap into where you can make healthy choices, and then you have some days where you have a little bit of a treat in life. My videos on here, I run the gamut. When you look at my videos as to what I've eaten, I run the gamut between, sometimes it's raw, sometimes it's cooked, sometimes it's fast food, sometimes it's home cooking, sometimes it's meat, sometimes it's, you know, sometimes it's more carbohydrate based, etc., etc. You know, you you have don't play the victim. Take back your personal power, and that's what it's about. So, Wahab, I want to thank you for your comment and submitting it. I hope you don't view this as some sort of personal attack or anything like that. I'm very grateful for the points that you brought up. But it is my belief that once people take back their personal power and stop playing the victim game, you can get down to the business of serious weight management, and you can bridge the gap between being able to be healthy while at the same time enjoying a few treats in life. Because after all, life is pretty short. And as I said in the last video, you know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You know, you do have to, there's nothing wrong with enjoying things in life, but you want to do so in a way where you are in control. So I hope this was a helpful video for you. Again, please keep the questions and comments coming. I love hearing from you guys. I have more videos coming soon, but that is it for me for tonight. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Have a great week. Very happy OMAD. Be well.